today, what else could I talk about other than this Jesperi Kotkaniemi offer sheet? I'm going to be going into my thoughts and feelings when it comes to that. Back to this week's edition of the Habs Fan Forum. I'm Ben Danku, your host, and here at the Habs Fan Forum, this is where us fans get to have our voices heard. Alright, today, what else could I talk about other than this Jesperi Kotkaniemi offer sheet and the trade for Dvorak that happened over the last week? Not to mention the offer sheet waiting game we had all week to pick this apart. So I'm going to be going into my thoughts and feelings when it comes to that. Before I get into that, just a quick word from our sponsors. The Habs Fan Forum is proudly a part of Rocket Sports Media and the Hockey Podcast Network, and we're sponsored by DraftKings, who is the leader in daily fantasy sports. They've paid out over $7 billion across all sports and all users, and they literally make payday every day. Right now, DraftKings is ramping up like crazy for the upcoming NFL season, so if you download the DraftKings app and use the promo code THPN, you can get a free entry courtesy of the Habs Fan Forum and Rocket Sports Media. Look, it's okay for me to be sad. It's okay for me to be angry. I understand Dvorak is a good middle six center. Happy to have him on the team. And I understand that the Canadiens had no business paying Kotkaniemi $6.1 million after the season he just had. Nor should they have to tender him at the $6.1 million that they would have to, or plus, that they would have to tender him next year after his one-year contract was up if they matched. I understand that the player who they had in front of him at that moment didn't make any sense with their cap structure. But that doesn't mean I can't be angry about it. Because the Canadiens let it get here. Their mismanagement let it get to this point. They squandered another third overall pick, and they overpaid for Dvorak. So, yes, people get so crazy. When you look at this in a vacuum, it's easy to be like, oh, this kid was underperforming. Or to say, Dvorak, he's a great center. He's definitely an upgrade from what we had. Of course he's an upgrade from what we had. He is 25 and in his prime and at his ceiling, essentially. He might, he could get a little better. We never know. But we kind of know what kind of player he is, and the numbers are out there. But Kotkaniemi definitely has a higher ceiling. Let's be real. And I understand the Canes, you can start looking at this of who won this, who won that, and they're all kind of better off in some of these arguments I'm seeing. The Canes had a questionable offseason of their own, letting Dougie walk and the value they got from Nedeljkovic so they could afford this. Doesn't matter. As a fan, I'm just sad to see KK go. Now you see people throwing KK to the wolves and praising Dvorak for this player no one's ever said he is. So who knows how they're going to set that expectation. But come on, you cannot tell me that the Habs aren't a better team with KK on this roster with the right contract. Frustrating. And it all stems back to player development. The Habs don't have any first-round picks from before 2018. I think Ryan Paling's the last one. And good luck. Hopefully that goes well. Same with Suzuki. Their player development's just been a joke. And if you're going to let a guy like Kotkaniemi walk like this, because they basically let him walk, lowballing him at $2.2 million, benching him in the finals, which I have complained about before. He didn't deserve to be benched, not only in the first game, but in the last games. It just didn't make any sense. It was just poor management from day one. A good GM just doesn't let it get to this place. I mean, I've defended Bergevin in the past, and admittedly, he has made some moves that I like. But for the most part, when you look at some of these, the Sergachevs, the Galchenyuks, the Obviously the Drouin part of the Sergachev, but his management afterwards, the KK situation. It's just deflating seeing your team make all these management decisions. And it's just like there's no argument. They could be better off with a better GM. Period. And the problem is, unfortunately, us fans have to sit there and live with it. It's brutal. Like, I want to be mad at some of these situations, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, well, we're stuck with the product we have, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're seeing your team not get better. I don't know. Overall, just a very frustrating week. And the overpayment for Dvorak had to happen because I needed someone to play center, and at least he was available. So happy to have him on board. I'm going to be cheering for him for sure. But yeah, just poor asset management and poor player development overall. And just for simplicity's sake, I know there's conditions on picks and there's different years the picks are in, but basically it's Kotkaniemi and a second-round pick for Dvorak and a third-round pick. And then if you break it down even further and you push the players out of this, it's a third overall and a second-rounder for a second-rounder and third-rounder. Brutal. Like, who makes that trade? Nobody. So you can defend yourselves all you want, and everyone can try to justify what Bergevin did with what he had in front of him. But guess what? Anyone who's been following this for a while can see that it led to this point. At the end of the day, not going to let that go. So, here's to Dvorak. I wish you the best of luck on this team. I mean, basically all you got to do is score more than Dano, and you'll be all right. And Kotkaniemi, I wish you all the best. You know what? You were mint when you were here, and you're going to keep being mint wherever you play. So keep crushing it, buddy. All right, that's it for this week's episode of the Habs Fan Forum. Thank you so much for watching. I know I wasn't exactly Mr. Positive today, but I appreciate you being here. If you liked the video, just like down below, share, tell your friends, and subscribe so you can get more content. Now, you can also follow along at allhabs.net for the best Montreal Canadiens coverage. All right, thanks again for watching. I'm Ben Dankyu, and even with all this, woo! Go Habs, go, baby.